Pure defensive boards. LSU, an outstanding offensive rebounding team.
Clark connects and has averaged over 21 points in her collegiate career. That's third most amongst active players. Clark, backdoor, Martin, easy two.
Hey guys, did you know that there was a time when everyone thought Caitlin Clark should stay at Iowa for another year? Like, seriously, everyone was saying she should continue raking in the big bucks instead of moving to the WNBA. Clark had 1 year of college eligibility remaining and had to make a tough decision: enter the draft pool or stay in Iowa. And let me tell you, Iowa even offered her close to what she's earning now. They thought that Clark's presence in college basketball would bring more publicity to the program and the university. But well, we all know how that turned out.
With the first pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, the Indiana Fever select Caitlin Clark, University of Iowa.
Now, it would have been a bummer for Iowa if Caitlin Clark had stayed, but they definitely wanted the best for her. And also, there were a lot of factors that went into her decision. But here's the thing, even if she chose the WNBA, the real economic impact Caitlin Clark had in Iowa is way bigger than we can measure. I mean, she brought in a ton of people to watch the games during the season, and even though those broadcasters aren't based in Iowa, they probably made some money off her that came back to the state. Plus, think about all the young women she's inspired to chase their dreams. That's gotta have some kind of impact on the economy, right? Maybe some kids even stayed out of trouble because they were inspired by her. And a lot of the stuff you read about her deals and stuff doesn't really show how much money she's brought to Iowa. So we just focused on the stuff we can measure, like how many people came to games because of her and how much they spent. Basically, Caitlin Clark brought in a lot of out-of-towners to watch games, and they spent a bunch of money. That's good for the economy.
Albany, even the worst seats are going for $125, not including fees. That's because Caitlin Clark and Iowa are taking on LSU in a rematch of last year's title game.
So, Caitlin Clark's games brought in a total of $82.5 million over 3 years. That's a lot of money. And it had a big impact on Iowa City and the other cities where games were played. In fact, it's even more than what they made at the state fair in 2021. Most of the money came from people who live in Iowa, but the people who came from out of state had the biggest impact. That's because they brought new money into Iowa. As Caitlin Clark got more famous, more people from out of state came to watch her play, which meant the economic impact was even bigger. To figure out how much money this spending added to Iowa's economy, we ran 2 different scenarios. In the first scenario, we assumed that people who lived in Iowa would have spent the money on something else in Iowa, even if they hadn't gone to the games. In the second scenario, we assumed that all of the money they spent was new money. The truth is probably somewhere in between.
It is year 4, but really year 2 or 3 outside of the state of Iowa where everybody's paid attention. They sell out every road game. It's like a rock band tour. They sell out every road game.
According to what we could figure out from those scenarios, Caitlin Clark's impact on Iowa's economy was between $14.4 million and $52.3 million. That's a huge number. To give you an idea, that's enough money to buy thousands of acres of farmland in Iowa. It could even pay for the new hospital and clinic expansion at the University of Iowa, or even the Stanley Museum of Art. And it could cover tuition for thousands of students at the university. If we take the average of those numbers, it's enough to buy every single Iowan a ticket to the state fair this year, and still have some money left over for funnel cakes. That's how big of an impact she had on Iowa's economy. It's pretty amazing for a basketball player from West Des Moines.
The Caitlin Clark effect came to mean many things, but one of them, long lines for hours to see her play.
As Caitlin Clark continues to rise in prominence, her influence is extending far beyond Iowa. Since her draft into the WNBA, her popularity has skyrocketed. The Indiana Fever's ticket prices soared, and fans can't get enough of her. Her impressive college career and her ongoing mind-blowing performances in the WNBA have made her a household name. While her WNBA salary is significant, it's still a far cry from what NBA players earn. However, Caitlin's earning potential extends beyond her on-court performance. Her NIL deals and sponsorship opportunities are lucrative, and she's likely to see a significant increase in her income as her popularity grows.
Nike announced earlier today that they're signing Hawkeye superstar Caitlin Clark to a name, image, likeness deal. This adds just another endorsement for the junior guard out of Dowling Catholic.
Right now, Caitlin's got a whopping 11 NIL deals with huge companies like Nike, Gatorade, and even State Farm. That means she's raking in thousands of dollars every month. Remember that State Farm commercial with Patrick Mahomes? Well, Caitlin was actually the first college athlete they ever signed. Pretty cool, right? She also joined the Nike family alongside Bronny James and Juju Watkins. Caitlin said she grew up idolizing Nike athletes, so this was a dream come true for her. In fact, she even used her Nike partnership to treat her entire team to some fresh kicks. And speaking of kicks, when Caitlin shattered the all-time scoring record, Nike jumped on the chance to release a special t-shirt to celebrate. It's got a cool slogan, "You break it, you own it." And of course, Caitlin's name and number on the back. The description online says nobody's safe when she's on fire. Pretty hype, wouldn't you say?
Some money moves. Yesterday, Ice Cube confirmed on social media that he and the Big Three have offered Iowa star Caitlin Clark a whopping $5 million to join the league.
But the offers don't stop there. Caitlin's talent has caught the eye of more than just brands. She's even had some surprising opportunities come her way, like that jaw-dropping deal from Ice Cube's Big Three League. It was a big deal, like a really big deal. He said she's a generational athlete, and they wanted her to play in their league. Apparently, the offer was for $5 million. And the cool thing is, Ice Cube said she could still play in the WNBA. He even said it would be a better option than playing overseas. But Caitlin decided to focus on her WNBA career instead. Even though she turned down the Big Three offer, she's still making a ton of money from other stuff. And while turning down the Big Three offer was a bold move, Caitlin had her sights set on something even bigger. That focus paid off massively, landing her a groundbreaking deal that's set to redefine her career and the entire sport.
A top WNBA pick, Caitlin Clark, her first pro game 10 days away, but even before she makes her pro debut, she has a major Nike deal on the line.
This scoring machine and #1 draft pick landed a massive deal with Nike. We're talking $28 million over 8 years, complete with her own signature shoe. This deal is huge for women's basketball. It's the biggest endorsement contract a female player has ever gotten. Nike's clearly betting big on Caitlin, and honestly, it's easy to see why. Remember all those incredible buzzer beaters and sick passes from her college days? Yeah, that's what made her a superstar. People are tuning in to watch her play in droves. Her championship game drew a record number of viewers, and the WNBA draft saw record ratings too. Caitlin's not just a force on the court, she's a rock star off it too. She aces interviews and even had a killer surprise appearance on Saturday Night Live. Basically, everyone loves her, which is why Nike wants her on their team for the next 8 years. At just 22, Caitlin's career is already skyrocketing. With this deal and her talent, she could be dominating the WNBA for a long time. And the Nike deal is just the beginning. Caitlin's influence is extending to another iconic brand, where she's about to make history yet again with something truly special.
The Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark has just inked a multi-year sponsorship deal with Wilson, maker of the WNBA's official basketball.
She just signed a huge deal with Wilson to make her own line of basketballs. That's wild, especially considering only Michael Jordan has done something like this before. Wilson is already selling 3 different basketballs with Caitlin's name on them. They're super cool and have laser engravings of her best plays from college. Caitlin's super excited about it and says she remembers being a kid with her own basketball. As part of the deal, Caitlin will also help Wilson design new basketball gear. And since she's a superstar, she's got a lot of other deals too. She's got deals with Nike, Gatorade, and a bunch of other brands. All these deals have made her really rich. In fact, she's the 4th highest paid college athlete ever, with an estimated net worth of $3.4 million. That's pretty impressive, considering she didn't even get a salary as a college player. She's made all this money from sponsorships and endorsements. So what do you think? Is her influence on women's basketball enough to justify the millions she's making? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're here, don't forget to like this video and hit that subscribe button for more insider buzz.